Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're just going to be talking about Warhammer terrain. I know it's been a while since I made a YouTube video. It's been like 31, 32 days, okay? But I know you guys have been waiting for me to drop, okay? Obviously. No, but seriously. I just wanted to talk about Warhammer terrain because I saw a meme on Instagram and it was like, this one board game, the terrain, the board like beautiful, and then it's like this one is like a Warhammer terrain. It's like, oh, it's all L shaped. Every single piece of Warhammer terrain is L shaped and it's ugly. And I'm like, I don't think all Warhammer terrain is L shaped and ugly, but I do think that it's a problem in, most parts. But I just wanted to show you like a good example of Warhammer terrain. Like I like this for the guard. And I like it because it's like a bunker, and even though I know that it's not like fully guarding like everybody, they can still get shot and die. I still like it just because like I like this on my tabletop. I like it, to be like a half bunker, running out, and it kind of reminds me of like real stuff. Like okay, in a battlefield, I'd actually see this, and I put a couple examples of like showing good Warhammer terrain, then I put bad, and I'm about to show you it. And I just wanted to compare it to other, war game systems, because I feel like with most games, like Warhammer, is like the terrain system is so special. Like Warhammer terrain is what makes the game good. Okay, better than the actual miniatures. Well, you can argue that it's the terrain that really makes the game good and pulls everything together. Like when you look at this, it's like you look at it and it's like, yeah, it's buildings, but the buildings don't really match the floor. They kind of just look like they're like glued on top. And the building is like, all of them are L-shaped, One on the far right L-shaped, one on the far left L-shaped, one in the middle L-shaped, one like close. All of them are like L-shaped. I know that's how buildings are made, but like what are the chances an army, like a whole war goes through and like only half of all of the buildings are left? It's like only half. They haven't even collapsed, nothing crazy. And it's just, I don't know, it feels weird because I know a lot of people, like Warhammer terrain I said is what makes the game good, or at least half of what makes it good, because the rules are just a pain. And I really love the miniatures, and the miniatures are the other half, and the hobby stuff. But it's like the L-shaped terrain boils down every movement around it to, because I play Space Marine, so they only have a 5-inch movement. So it's either I can take two 5-inch movements and go out the far side, or I can go straight through if my Space Marines are allowed to on some terrains, or I can take the short movement out the left side. That's what it really boils it down to. Or I could go up top and do that. And it's really just, I don't know, it's kind of repetitive, because then the other thing where it's like, oh, you need to have these markings to see if your guys are in terrain, because usually I just do my boards and it's like, hey, if it looks like they're in terrain, they're in terrain. And if there's one guy outside of the terrain, then you can see that one guy and you can get him. And yeah, but I kind of find my boils. I kind of find my boards like kind of difficult, because like I like this board right here, but what you see is like not all of my miniatures can really hide behind this terrain. Like most of this would just be +1 to your like how difficult it is to shoot you for the terrain, and that's it's kind of boils down the thing. But I like this board because I wanted to show you a good example of terrain that I like. And I like this because it's like this jungle theme, explosions, kind of reminds me of old Warhammer. And I think I probably like this because more of the old miniatures can hide in this terrain, and I kind of have half my army as like really old guys, even though I do have some Primaris. I really like this because like look, the terrain matches the board and all that stuff. But Warhammer terrain is really difficult to do to, decide the cover, because I feel like most systems like BattleTech, like I'm not one of those guys who's like, I hate Warhammer, because really I actually love Warhammer. But it's difficult because with other terrain systems like BattleTech, is like, hey, we're working with the hex grid. If it's behind terrain, it's behind terrain. Then you can really focus on like, because it has like such basic rules for terrain, you can really focus on making the terrain beautiful because you really don't have to care. And with Warhammer terrain, even though it's L-shaped, I feel like L-shaped terrain can still be beautiful. Like look at this bunker right here. This bunker's awesome, but I feel like the thing is with Warhammer boards, my Space Marines are so slow that they kind of have a difficult time getting around terrain. And I feel like that's a good reason why most people use like jump pack, guys, just to rocket across the board in like 5 seconds and destroy everything. It's because it's just easier to get around terrain, and then they kind of boil down terrain. And I feel like with some of my games, because I really don't like overdoing terrain, but then it's kind of difficult because I don't have much like big terrain things that you can hide in. So most of like my Warhammer games end up having like this huge middle thing in the middle because I don't know what to put there. Because if I put one terrain, I feel like I'm, overshadowing the other side of the board, and I don't want to do those things where it's like, are these competitive layouts? Because then I was like, oh, competitive. Honestly, I feel like the Warhammer boards are just too small or too weird to work with. I feel like I probably should just go to my Warhammer store because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't gone to my Warhammer store in a couple weeks. Yeah, I should probably go back there, a day or two, someday, and go to the Warhammer store. But yeah, and yeah, I haven't watched a Combat Patrol in a while, man. I'm trying to get more YouTube videos out. It's just I'm a student and I'm preparing for stuff in my life, so it's kind of just a grind right now. Thank you guys for supporting me and staying here with me. I'm talking like the video's about to end. It's not. But really, I've been getting into more systems like BattleTech. But I feel like BattleTech shows me why I really like Warhammer, and I feel like vice versa. Warhammer also shows me why I really like BattleTech, because everybody just wants to sit down and do a million Warhammer battles, and everybody wants to have 1,000 BattleTech mechs. But it's always it's really I don't know, it's really just the difficulty of doing it. But there are always ways to boil things down. I feel like with terrain, there's always an easier way to get around it. And honestly, I feel like with BattleTech, I don't know, Warhammer, I don't know. I feel like I just have to find a way to boil down my games and get them faster. And I feel like terrain's a big thing because terrain can make or break a game. And I really like Warhammer terrain because it just offers everything. There's millions of worlds, so you can make up anything. And that's why I really like terrains like this, the old Warhammer terrains, because I really like battling in jungle worlds. I really I love Star Wars when they're battling in that one jungle thing in Rogue One. I forgot the name of the planet. And I just, I like it. But I don't want to have to worry about, hey, can this guy see this other guy? And I really don't like L-shaped terrain because I feel like they take up way too much of the board. I feel like it's way too fat and it's way too ugly. And it's just weird. Anyways, if you guys like that video, subscribe. I'll probably be making a couple more videos, and I'll post a bunch more videos when we're in summer. So yeah, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.